Pig, here we go. I need your meat.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
Hello, and welcome back to episode 2 of the Evolution Project. Yes, it has a name now, which you may have noticed in the previous episode, but this time it's officially in the video, so that's good. So, as you can see, we still got a bit of a block house, which is, well, to say the least, not so brilliant. I wouldn't say it's a feat of architecture, but this can get improved. I might actually complete the house in a bit. Get some nice wood when the sun rises. In fact, we can see that the moon is still only just rising. We still got a bit of time before day arrives, but funnily enough, we seem to only have mobs down here in the bottom of the valley, so I might take a little risk and try and cut down some trees. That being said, there does seem to be a lot of animals here which I didn't see before. Let me just go ahead and kill this pig. Here we go. I need your... Anyway, back to business. I am probably going to just cut down a few trees, as you usually do. Right, now that's done, yeah, my axe broke halfway through while doing that, which is a bit of an inconvenience, but, you know, not so much of a problem. I've got to say, it's a really beautiful view from here. I'd say that this landscape is quite nice to look at. It's a good coastal area with, I guess, beaches. Oh god, that was very close to me falling, but, yeah. It's a very nice view. You can see that the far render distances are not as good as in the newer versions, but it kind of keeps that retro feel to it, at least for me personally, because, you know, I have grown up watching this version of the game. I still can't get used to how brightly coloured... I still can't get used to how brightly coloured the textures are here. I mean, honestly, it's a little bit irritating to see sometimes, like, to the eye, but, like I said, it gives a very nice retro feel to it, I think. So, what we're probably going to do now is maybe we can set a mine. Might be a good idea to get something going on. We are at altitude at the moment, though, so it might be more wise to start the mine somewhere down at the bottom. However, I have a feeling that that could potentially just cause more inconvenience than, well, convenience, because, you know, I'd probably have to walk down there, and, you know, if I wanted to mine, I'd probably just set up the mine here and have to just dig a little deeper than I need to. But anyway, let me just get this done. I do not like that, actually. It's a little bit... For space, it's going to be pretty difficult for me to kind of just jump down like that. Well, not really difficult, just... Yeah, it doesn't look that well done. Yeah, I probably shouldn't do that. It looks like one of those cursed images. Right. So let me just put that in my inventory. Here we go. Right. So let us light up the way and start a nice bit of a mine shaft. Oh, won't you look at that? There's coal literally right there. You know, I always think in the past a lot of people would kind of try to prank users in this old version, where they'd kind of... I mean, I guess it's not really new to this version or any modern versions, but they'd often, like, get something in and try to place some diamond ore right at the top of a hill or something. Say, you know, there's a seed here, it's really good. You should probably go check it out. And it never really was anything, as you may have expected. But, of course, you don't really have to worry about that, because all you have to do is dig down to bedrock, and you can find diamonds pretty easily. Is that a cave I hear? I hear some water at least, so it's something. I'm not sure what, but it'd be interesting to find out. Let's check if we still have this. No, we don't. And wouldn't you hear that? That seems to be the first mob that we've heard in this series. Mind you, we've seen mobs before, but they always spawn quite far away from us. I don't know why. I'm certainly not complaining, but it's not always that nice. Huh. Well, seems like it's not so much of a problem. Ah! I do hear quite a lot. You know what? Let's be brave. Let us try and hunt that out. Let's try and hunt down this zombie. Right here, are you? Hello? Hello? Oh god, that was rather effective. I do not like how there is a skeleton nearby. I don't particularly trust... Ah! They are not good. No, 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 no. I didn't even know they sound like that in this game. They've got a very, well, I wouldn't say retro sound to them, but I didn't know the older version had that sound. So that's pretty interesting. You gotta say as well, coal is very nicely distributed. I'm not really sure why I'm constantly trying to make comparisons to the newer versions. Of course, this is basically an entirely new game. In some ways, it's well, it's got different mechanics to it, I'd say. Actually, I don't think that's the right word. It's basically just different sounds. I think that skeleton. Yeah, that skeleton has despawned, so I don't think we have to worry about that for now. Oof. Now, I think I might work on this, and as far as I'm concerned, I can worry about the other stuff after. I think otherwise I'll be having to do this at night, which is probably not a good idea. So, let's just do that. A nice little, maybe cobblestone sort of area here. The mobs are actually pretty easy to fight off. I don't really expect them to be that easy to fight off. But anyway, back to the topic, which I now have almost probably have forgotten now. Just adjusted my volume because the music was getting a little bit too loud for my fancy. However, hopefully now you can all hear me, or whoever really is watching. To be frank, this series is not really intended to be something for people to necessarily view. I'm just kind of putting it here on YouTube, just to kind of document it. But I'm just talking on the way because I love talking, as you may have guessed from the previous episode already. And I gotta say, it is a lot to talk about with this old version, because a lot of things have changed since then, and when you see nostalgia like this, it does bring back a lot of moments that you've had. However, like I said, I've played it in the later versions and not in this version, so it brings more nostalgia in respect to what I experienced at the time. This is actually way before my time. I started playing, as I may have said before, in 2011, and it was a rather enjoyable experience. It was the kind of version which wasn't too bad in respect to a lot of the things that it had that was similar to the beta versions, and as well was pretty, I'd say it had a lot of new features which I think were quite nice too. Like, the new biomes, that was something I didn't really like at first, but they actually weren't that bad when you got used to them. However, the randomness of these biome generation, the way the biomes are generated in this version are actually pretty nice. So it's kind of a mix, really. It's whatever really is your fancy. So something called laziness has got into play, and I might not complete this. No, I'm just joking. I'm probably going to continue this in a second. I just want to mine some stones so that I have something to complete it with. Now, I remember the first series I watched, which was in this alpha version, was, like I said, X's Adventures. They did a really nice series, and before the game really got a bit popular, they kind of just showed off their survival and, you know, just kind of experienced the game without much knowledge, and everyone kind of learned on the way, which I thought was quite nice. Of course, in the newer versions, there was more features, and series that I watched like that were the Yogscast. A lot of people know the Yogscast nowadays, and they were famous back in their time. Well, not really back in their time. They were famous back in 2010-ish for their Shadow of Israel series, which basically was almost like a kind of roleplay series, which based itself off the older version of Alpha, where they decided to kind of spice up the game. They encountered a creepy, I guess, antagonist in this game, in a version about 2 versions beyond this, and the story kind of went from there. I'm not going to say more, because if you've watched it, you've watched it. If you haven't, you probably should. It might seem a little bit too outdated, but it's still really nice to see. I definitely think the content of YouTube has changed dramatically since then. I think even though content has changed quite a lot, I think it's still something that could be improved on, because I think back during this time, it was rather nice to just chill and, you know, not really care that much when you made a video. Nowadays it seems that you tend to have more of a competitive based game. I love the view, honestly, it's a really nice thing to see. In fact, maybe to finish that house before the sun sets, I might get some sand so I can smelt some glass. Some brilliant glass. Because of course that definitely existed in this version. Wasn't that non-existent. But no, it's nice to see that some features aren't completely gone. It's definitely not as stripped down as people may think of it as. I once introduced one of my friends to this version just to see how they would think of this version, and to say the least, they weren't really that happy about it. They kind of didn't like how a lot of the versions would have nothing in them, basically. You know, no potions, none of that stuff, enchantments. The kind of stuff which brings more of the arcade feel into later versions of the game. However, also a lot of useful items, along with potions, were also not included, and in the newer versions they are, you know, really nice to have, especially before building or exploring. This old version, of course, is way more bare bones, and of course has that kind of element where you have to improvise from what you have, because of course you're not going to be able to do much with what you have unless you use a little creativity. I may be saying this in quite a positive light. It's not necessarily positive light. I'm trying not to sound like one of those people who prefers the old versions to the new ones. I tend to like it for the nostalgic appeal, and I decided I would just take a break from the newer versions, just for the sake of having the experience from the older versions again. Of course, the newer versions have many features which that's misaligned, I do not like that. Newer versions have many features that I like, and even like the different world generation is still a nice thing to see, because it demonstrates the kind of, despite how much Minecraft has evolved, it shows how you know, it may be different, but it still looks nice. That's all I can say, really. I'm trying to make it sound more complicated than it should be. Really, it's just the fact that the world generation is different, but it was still just as good, I think. This is just more of a random kind of thing. It has a more of a random kind of thing to it. Right. Let us... Oh, okay. I was gonna like open the door before I ate, but yeah. It's very nice to now see that the sun is setting. Well, I wouldn't say nice. I wouldn't go as far to say it's nice because, of course, you know, mobs are still an issue. However, it is still nice to kind of see something a little scenic, you know, just to add something nice to this. I might even start smelting glass now. I'm getting some windows done. Ah, well, that is already the end of one day, so I wouldn't say that I've done a lot in this single day, so I may just do some mining at night, just kind of make the end of this video more interesting. See if maybe we can get diamonds, because it doesn't take a huge amount of time, even though we don't have very fast tools. We could probably get down to the ground level pretty quickly. Let's just take a nice view of that screenshot. No, it's not view of that screenshot. Nice view of the sun, because I think it is a very beautiful sight to see. Now, another thing you might have all noticed, or a lot of you might remember, is that the lighting's a little bit bodged. It could be completely dark here, and if you look out some of the unloaded chunks, it will look like it is bright as day. And that's kind of a thing that got improved in later games. So, like I said earlier, it's demonstrated that the older version has a lot of features that you might like, but of course, it doesn't have everything, and neither does the new version. So, a bit of both is always nice. There's a chicken. God damn. And that was a beautiful sight. Honestly, a beautiful sight. Of course, it's not as beautiful as the sunsets we get in the later games, but it's nice to have a sunset like that. Now, of course, it's not exactly that good because we have still the risk of mobs in an area where I'd say mobs are pretty prevalent. Oh, I think I hear a skeleton. Let us dig before we encounter him. Surprisingly enough, I actually feel not scared, but on edge, despite kind of played this game for quite a while. I'm not sure why, because, you know, I don't really have any fear to the mobs, but I guess I'm just kind of bringing back that kind of childhood excitement of, you know, kind of hiding away from the mobs and such. And on top of that, I think the fact that you can't run is kind of a problem, because you can't really get away from mobs as easily, which in some ways increases the difficulty. So, you know, it is quite an interesting way to increase the difficulty. So yeah, I don't know what level I'm at. I'm going to assume I'm starting to get below Y60. So that means I should be on my way now to the more cave-like level. In fact, I might make a shovel too, just so I can get a little bit deeper. So, let's see. Trivia. Do I really need to say any trivia? Why not? Well, I do know about the cave generation. Cave generation was a little different in this version. It was quite a nice sight to see, because when the caves updated, they were usually way more vast, which was kind of cool to see. But in the older versions, they were way smaller in most situations. But a lot of them ended up with quite interesting, well, seeds. There used to be the seed called the 101 challenge, I believe, and basically what would end up happening is you would spawn in this gravel beach, and you would have to dig down about 1 block in the gravel, and all of it would fall, and you'd end up falling into this cave. And the challenge was to find diamond as fast as possible. Now, of course, you could get it pretty fast because if you selected enough seeds, you'd find one with the most convenience for you. But it was still a fun challenge at the time for many players, and kind of got eventually. It was kind of what eventually got people into making maps soon after, which was also quite interesting to see. And there we go, the spooks. Now, surprisingly enough, I haven't found any iron yet. It does seem understandable because I don't think I'm bound to find iron yet. I think I do have to do a bit more mining before I really get lucky. I can hear some zombies. And some water. That's a sign of a cave, isn't it? Is that right? Probably is. Oh. Here we go. Ready for the spooks? Nah. Just need to get in, have a little look at the cave, see what happens. And if it's not fancy, we'll just skip past it. Yes, I can hear you pretty well. Ah, here we go. Now we have some iron here. That's really nice. Now we should be able to upgrade to iron pickaxes and, you know, be a little bit more advanced than being in the Stone Age constantly. Here we go. And there. Right. I believe we left our crafting bench all the way up there, which probably wasn't a good idea. However, you know what? I'm going to be lazy and just make a new one. It's going to take too long to really get up there. Let's be efficient. Well, I wouldn't say this is efficient, but it's close enough. I can hear you, zombies. Yes, I do. Yeah, I think we're right below a cave, so we're probably going to encounter it very soon. However, let's try to make a pickaxe. Then we could probably get to diamond pretty quickly. I'd even say that maybe I could get my first set of armor, make a chest plate or something. So we really don't need much for an iron pickaxe, and we're probably not going to be spending a lot of time digging higher grade stuff, so we should be okay in that sense. Just hold up. Here we go. I'm just going to continue mining a little bit until I find the cave. Where are you zombies? So I think I'm actually probably at their level, so yeah, in fact they sound like they're over there, so I could just be going past them. Which, to be frank, I'm not really complaining about. We can do strip mining, which I think is probably way safer, especially since we've only just spawned in and kind of gotten the hang of it. Here we go, so we've got 4 gold so far, that'll be very nice. Ah! And that is why you don't dig straight down, boys. Huh. Let us dig around this. Now, I don't know how the old generation works, but I assume it's kind of similar. Hopefully I can just try to find the source of the cave, if there is one, in this lava pool. Gosh. This is kind of risky, but it's not too risky. This often brings me back to the Uggs cast when they first found diamonds. I believe they'd push each other in quite often when it came to trying to avoid the lava. So, you know, obviously they were an effective team. Ah, and yes, this is actually redstone. And you can place it. So, no, it turns out redstone was added in this update. So that's a good thing. I didn't know that. I don't really check the change logs, I'm just starting in alpha, so yeah, that's nice. Very spooky, very nice. Now, I'm not sure what mechanisms you can do in this old version of redstone. I assume something along the lines of maybe pressing buttons to open doors and stuff. Yeah, probably. Which is good. That's kind of useful. I don't want to risk it. Okay. Let's just take this logically. If shift doesn't exist, then just do that instead. God, I sound like I had a heart attack there. Honestly, fair enough, because say I do die, it means I respawn quite far away from where I was. Now, hearing that creeper getting hurt sounds like sand, so it's a rather interesting thing to see. Or, shall I say, hear, rather. But, you know, that's, I guess, spooky. I mean, it makes more sense for creepers, because they contain, gunpowder. I can imagine that sounds pretty sandy. I don't know, my commentary is, like, over the roof right now. Like, I know exactly what to say. Nah, but I have a feeling a lot of this may be cut out towards the end, because I honestly say very pointless things and random things in the middle of these gameplays. I've also found that I tend to mumble a lot, which is something I need to improve on. My microphone isn't terribly amazing, so that means I tend to have a problem with that, and trying to find the right volume to actually speak at, because I tend to naturally just get quieter and quieter and quieter. Now I think at this rate of... that's a shame. At this rate, I should be able to make a full set of armor if I get enough iron. That'd be very nice. However, I don't think that was absolutely everything. Oh god, that was... that is there a death counter somewhere? I should probably get the death counter going. Yeah, so pretty insane. Well, it wouldn't be a death counter, it would be a near death counter. I can't believe it. I'm literally almost dying every single time. It's kind of hilarious, really. So, you know what? Let's take a peek. They can't hit me into the lava if I'm not facing it right. Huh. That's nice. Let's just go around and take a little peek. Now, the reason why I was so scared of creepers earlier is that I believe in this older version, when they exploded, as long as you were in their radius, no matter how far away you were from them, as long as you were in their, like, I guess, attack radius, and there we go. As long as you were in their attack radius, you would end up, unfortunately, dying instantly, which wasn't really a good thing to see. Because, of course... let's block this off, just to be safe. Wasn't really a good thing, of course, because you'd end up kind of... I've forgotten what I was talking about. Yeah, so basically you'd insta-die from creepers, which was bad, of course, because if you insta-died from creepers, you probably lost a lot of stuff when you could have easily avoided it. I believe with armor it wasn't so much a problem, as most things aren't. However, it still posed a bit of a problem when you were just trying to, you know, make your way around the game, and maybe you were in like maybe you only just started the game, so yeah, it did pose a bit of a problem at first. But I actually think this is only 2 diamonds, possibly more. I'm probably gonna mine around, you know, maybe there's more. I'm not sure how the generation for this all works, but I can only assume that there might be more around here. I think if there's 2 diamonds, I will probably make a sword out of it. If there isn't, I will most likely, you know, make something more useful out of it. Right. I think I'm going to split this video into 2 parts, because I think this second section is going to be a little bit interesting. And, you know, why not just leave you on that cliffhanger? Plus, I've been playing for quite a while now. Haha. I can hear... oh, they're right here. That's nice. No, but I think splitting it into a couple parts might be good. So I think just to end this, I'm going to go back up, make something useful out of this, maybe a sword to prepare for what's coming up. And then maybe we can try find a few more diamonds and, you know, get something useful out of this. Let's see up there. I would say there's a mob up there, but I don't believe so. I see something green, but I actually don't think it's a mob. But, yeah, let's just, speedy up this. Right, here we go. I guess we're entering, I guess, the glass age. The sun isn't too low in the sky, so we can take advantage of this time to kind of build some nice windows at the front and back. I think it'll be a very nice view, so maybe we can look outside, you know, just in case there are some mobs in the way. In fact, I might even make this more of a... Here we go. Now I can just look right out and see everyone and everything going on. Plus making this more spacious is probably very useful. Yeah, maybe I should go for more symmetric. Wait. Oh, that's a shame. I think in some other versions, if you broke the glass, you'd actually get a little bit back, but I don't think that's how it works in this version. However, that being said, that probably could be to do with the version I'm playing, because I downgraded, but I doubt it. I think that's just how it was. Yeah, I think this is better because it's more symmetrical. Our house is now has yes, now has windows now, so that's pretty nice. Hopefully this stuff will, you know, go away. So it will stay there forever as long as it's touching wood. So there we go. Hopefully it'll start going. Yeah, I would say that's pretty good start. Maybe I won't split this into 2 parts after all. I think next time I might go back down, take a little bit of exploration, see if I can get those diamonds out. And maybe, just maybe, we'll get more diamonds and have enough bigger pickaxe, get some armor going. Then I think once that starts, I'll get more onto the building kind of stuff. We got a lot to expand to, and honestly, I think it'll be quite nice to take a look around and see what we can do in this beautiful landscape. Now, mind you, the next time I'm playing this, or maybe the next time after that, I might be updating. It's not going to be a huge update. Like I said, I'm trying to keep within that week-to-week kind of time frame, but we're going to get to a new update that not just going to be releasing. Well, of course, not actually, but to kind of keep it real, that's what I'll be doing. I guess I'll just imagine that I'm there back then and, you know, waiting for the update to come out. Now, while I know approximately what was added in alpha and beta and the newer versions, I don't know when they were added, so it's going to be a nice surprise to kind of look around and go, oh hey, this exists. Every now and then, like I said, we'll expand out, just pick a direction and walk, because of course the best thing about this game is that it's infinite, and that is truly brilliant. In fact, technically it's not infinite. Trivia fact, it's about the size of Neptune. So yeah, if you want a comparison, just think about the total surface area of Neptune and you've got Minecraft. So several times more than Earth. So you've got a lot to work with, I'd say. But yeah, I'm going to end it here. I hope you enjoyed watching it. I definitely enjoyed playing it. Next video will come out sometime, depending on who watches it really. I doubt many people are going to watch it, but like I said, it's more of a documentation than anything. I'd love to look back one day and see all the progress I've made. And right now it's not a lot, but it'll definitely get better. So I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.